We will just be recording the education slot today, just something a little bit different. So I actually got a phone call last week, and someone said, "Listen, if you're going to meet someone in BNI, you need to meet Justin Sandmann." So I thought, all right, so let's give him a call. And not often can I say that I sit down with someone in a one-to-one with energy that not only can match mine, but probably surpass it, and excitement for what's going on in his industry right now. So for today, we're actually going to do something different for education. And I've actually got a couple of questions for Justin, just to help relay some of the information and feedback that he's done since being with BNI. So Justin, good morning. Welcome to BNI Inferno. I'm really glad that you could join us. Please, can you introduce yourself, your profession, and how you were introduced to BNI?
Thanks, Kevin. Lovely to visit BNI Inferno. I'm Justin from Sandmann Productions. I specialize in video production, from filming to animation and everything in between. I've been doing this for about 19 years, and my own business for about 9 years. And so what happened was, a friend of mine back in 2019 said, "Hey, you should come check out this thing called BNI." And I'd heard about BNI before, but I thought it was kind of like a pyramid scheme, or like, how does he benefit if I join kind of vibe. So I was very unsure about it. And then I actually went to 1 or 2 in-person meetings to check it out. And I thought, hey, there's something here. And I've never spent a single rand on marketing. And, maybe 2020 is a year that I should try something different. Little did I know that 2020 would be a very interesting year. So anyway, so I visited, the chapter was called BNI Straight Foward, and I signed up and I said, cool, I'm in. And I think 2 weeks later, lockdown, COVID, all that stuff happened. And our chapter was the first chapter in South Africa to launch online. And basically all the stuff happening at the same time, with the lockdown imposed, I wasn't able to do half my business. Half my business is pretty much filming, going out there, events, corporate videos, commercials. All of a sudden, I couldn't do half the work that I've been doing to, feed my family. And it was an amazing time, because right there and then I connected to BNI, joined BNI, and I was like, okay, wow, this is an amazing opportunity for me to redirect my business and to basically focus more on the digital while under lockdown.
Fantastic. I know that we had a really interesting conversation, and not only, I suppose, your industry like really slowing down, but travel in particular. I know we spoke a little bit about some of the national chapters that you visited. I was wondering if you can tell me a bit of your experience of visiting chapters outside of even Gauteng, and a bit of your experience with that.
Yeah, no, so I connected with a voiceover artist. He approached me from BNI. He's in Cape Town. And he invited me to come visit his chapter. And I was like, oof, I don't know, Cape Town people are cliquey. I don't know if they're going to want a Joburger to come visit. But they're actually very friendly. But what really impressed me was this idea of never underestimate who might be at that meeting. So I was visiting the meeting, and there was a photographer who was doing his feature presentation. And because we're kind of similar in our industries, I thought, hey, it'd be nice to connect with this guy, and maybe we can do a one-to-one. So we set that up, and we just started chatting, and he said, hey, he knows some people in Cape Town that do video production, and every so now and again, they sometimes need someone in Joburg to film for their clients, on an ad hoc basis. Would I be interested to partner up with them? I said, absolutely, sure. I mean, great. Any work will be awesome. And it wasn't long after that where they gave me a call and they said one of their clients from Italy needs to film an acceptance speech. And so this lady in Joburg had won an award. It was the Milan Fashion Award. And she couldn't fly to Italy because of COVID. She wasn't prepared to fly to Cape Town because of COVID. So would I film her in Joburg? Would I film her acceptance speech in Joburg for the client in Italy? And that was such an amazing experience, because I was in the studio in Joburg. We had the producer with a laptop on Zoom. On the one screen, we had the producers in Cape Town. And on the other screen, we had the director from Italy. And he was directing me, he wants the shot like this, and he wants a shot like that. And I was like, okay, cool. Everyone happy, and action. And here I am filming via for Italy, all because I visited a random chapter in Cape Town. And since then, I've had another thank you for close business. So it really just blows my mind that from one random visit, I managed to secure an international and national client.
That's really, really awesome. Just chatting, I mean, that to get international exposure from a local point of view is always really powerful, especially considering no one could travel last year. You also mentioned quite a bit about visiting international chapters, in particular around like New York and then Europe and the UK. I wonder if you can tell us a bit of your experience doing that.
Yeah, Kevin, that was really amazing. So once I'd done the Cape Town route, I thought, well, it's costing me nothing to go to all these Zooms. I may as well, venture out. So it was actually quite nerve-wracking going to like an internet, like New York and that, because I mean, I don't know what to expect. But because they're BNI, the systems, the agenda and everything's the same. They've got a president, it all just flows. And I was visiting a New York chapter when there was another visitor, or a guest, I say, from BNI in London. And he's a finance broker for feature films in the UK. And he reached out to me and said, hey, I see you also like video. How about we do a one-to-one? I was like, wow, a guy from UK trying to connect. This is amazing. So we had a one-to-one and we chatted, and his passion is to produce films. My passion is to direct films. So we had a lot in common. And subsequently, then I visited his chapter once or twice. And I started reaching out to the people in his chapters to do one-to-ones. And the one guy, I set up a one-to-one with one of the London guys, and he said to me, to be honest with you, Justin, I would never, ever have considered replying to your email if it weren't for the fact that you were a BNI member, because he gets inundated with spam and all this stuff. But because I was from BNI, even though I was from South Africa, because I was vetted by BNI, he was willing to take my one-to-one. And that for me was really quite impressive, because I didn't really know how much it meant to other people that I've been vetted by BNI. The real cool kicker was it happened last week, where I get a referral notification, and it says there it was from Edmund from the UK, saying no, he wants me to put me in touch with this guy from Pause TV. I'm like, what? Pause TV is like a Netflix. It's an online streaming platform for independent filmmakers. And he put me in touch with the CEO from that streaming company. And I started chatting to the guy, and I made a short film last year, and there's a possibility that we could get my short film onto his streaming platform, and I could be earning dollars through that. So it was my first international referral, and possibly leading to an international thank you for closed business, all because I randomly visited a chapter in New York. And so that for me, it just blows my mind that all this opportunity is out there. All we've got to do is just show up.
Fantastic, Justin. Well, I'm quite sure your phone's going to get a little bit nuts later today with a whole bunch of people wanting to grab a one-to-one and learn a bit from your experience. So just to wrap up really quickly, what advice would you give to a business owner right now about marketing their business? Just very, very briefly from your exposure over the last year within BNI.
Sure. Yeah, well, for me, I think like with anything in life, is what you put in is what you get out, whether it's relationships, whether it's diet, whether it's exercise. And if I commit to something, I have to do it 100%. So I do take a lot of time to commit, but when I do commit, I do it full-heartedly. And so for me, I think my best advice is, if you're going to do BNI, do it 100%. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Also, don't underestimate the power of online. I think for me, yes, not all industries can work remotely. Not all industries can have international clients. But for me, don't underestimate the time that we're going through right now. Yes, there's challenges, there's stress, there's all sorts of complications. But we're sitting with an opportunity for the first time in BNI's history that we can visit chapters online and not have to spend a single rand. So that's my advice, is don't underestimate the power of online.
Awesome, Justin. Thank you very much for your time. Please put up your details in the chat as well. I'm sure everyone's like itching to write that down. Thanks a lot, guys. I think that was really awesome. Sorry we took a little bit longer, but I think tons of information there. Have a fantastic meeting.